today we are talking about what is lead generation. And I just wanted to go, sometimes we understand that. Those of us who've been in business for a while, we might be like, oh yeah, I know what that is. And sometimes all this jargon is completely baffling to us. So I'm just going to go right back to basics and talk about what lead generation is. And you might have heard it called lots and lots of different things. And the jargon can be a little bit annoying, but it's also, it just explains in a quick phrase what it is. So we are sticking with it for now. But basically, it's about having an audience or a community of people who are getting to know you, who are in your kind of, in your area, whether that's online or in person or both, hopefully, who are ready to buy from you, who are, your avatar or your ideal client or close to your ideal client, and are there kind of needing what it is you buy. And I think it's really important to say that lead generation is like a non-negotiable in your business. So I know when we come into the birth and baby world, we often sort of think, oh yeah, what you can't wait for is the teaching or the one-to-one support of families. And that's why we're here, isn't it? It's to really help families and make a difference to them. But when we're in private practice, like we all are, actually this lead generation part has got to be a constant job, a constant activity in our business, because especially in our world where people move through this phase of their lives relatively quickly. I mean, pregnancy is 9 months, but obviously people don't always start researching and looking into things until a partway into their pregnancy. And then you've got the sort of newborn phase, and then as their children get older. So we have got like a year, a couple of years in our sort of excuse me, depending on what we offer, where we're going to actually have people moving through our services. And of course, they might come back to us for their second baby, third babies, all that kind of stuff. We hope that they will. But because of that, excuse me, frog in my throat. Because of that, we do want to keep bringing in new people into our audience. So this is such an important part of your business. And look, your audience can be built from many places. This isn't just about having Instagram followers at all. It can also be, building up. In fact, it should be building up a in-person thing as well. Like in getting known for what you do in your local area is really, really important. In fact, we would say when you're starting off and you've got in-person services, it's more important than spending a lot of time on the online stuff. But it can also be an online community, and we're going to talk about these different places. So try and think outside of the box with this. Try not to get too stuck on, one thing. And what we find is businesses these days tend to get quite stuck on Instagram. So what we're really asking you to do is think about all the places and all the ways that your clients find you or could find you, not just the gram. Excuse me. Okay, so let's think about, and this is time to get a pen out if you haven't already. You might find, if you've got the workbook out, you can use it for that. So let's think about where your ideal clients are. And the kind of questions we might want to ask ourselves to figure that out is, where did your last clients come from? Where did they hear about you? If you don't already have a way of capturing this information with every client that you work with, you absolutely must find a way, whether that's that you ask when people attend a class, whether you've got an intake form and you ask on there. It's so important to your business growth and to your audience growth that you find out how people find you. It's not, and the thing is, it's going to change as well. Okay, so that's why you have to keep asking and keep going back to people and finding out, and make sure you ask every single customer where they found you. And then as well, think about, where do you think your ideal client, hangs out? What have you seen around? What do you hear? And what are your thoughts and what are your evidence for that? So in this first list here, I've got kind of like the sort of in-person places that our ideal client might hang out. So it might be that they're already going to another class or another service. It could be like their midwifery service in the NHS, of course, but it might also be things like they might go to Aquanatal. Maybe they go to pregnancy yoga. Maybe there's a particular cafe in your town where all the new parents hang out. Do you know what I mean? Find out, where are people actually in real life? Where are they going? Where are they hanging out? They might be your friends of friends of friends of friends. It might be that you're not long out of this phase, you're in this phase now. So, your audience are the people who you perhaps chat to and hang out with every day. Who do they know that you could help? And then on the right-hand side, we've got the ones that we kind of think about often more when we're thinking about building an audience, which are online places. So it could be Facebook groups, whether those are local or, more general, Instagram, your mailing list. Don't stress if you haven't got a mailing list. And it might be LinkedIn, TikTok. It could be anywhere. So just really, only you know the answer to this. I think it's also important to say here, if you're brand new to this and you're like, well, I haven't had any clients yet, I don't know. So this is a time to sort of get out there, chat to your community, ask the questions, kind of survey people, not in like a formal way, but like have those conversations, have a chat, find out, because you need to know this stuff, because you can't really run a business without this information. I might just ask you all actually quickly, just to chat, just quickly write in the chat box where the main place you think your ideal client hangs out. I think it'd be good to all kind of share that.
Instagram, Katie says, great.
Word of mouth, yeah, absolutely. Happy tea.
Instagram.
Amazing. And Instagram. Yeah, I think as well, being in London and the South East, particularly London, Happy Tea is a big place that people go and look for stuff. Local cafes, yeah, great that you recognise that. Recommendations, yeah. Pregnancy yoga, Facebook, brilliant. Pregnancy yoga, local cafes, Instagram, wellness, spiritual events, brilliant. Word of mouth, yeah. And most of you are saying, or you've either said word of mouth recommendations, or you've talked about something in real life. So as we're going through today and just forever now, I want you to keep coming back to that. How can I network? How can I connect with the people in a physical way? Get my shoes on, go and walk around my neighborhood. Where can I go to actually go and get my clients and not just sort of be looking online? Brilliant. Thanks for that. That's really helpful. So what we're going to do today is we're going to actually, we're actually going to implement this together. So this may feel a little bit uncomfortable to you, but I want you to really give this a go this week with some of these activities that we're sharing with you, because they may be things you've never done before, but we want you to just really give it a good go, because these are the things that are going to make a difference to creating leads for your business. So we're going to share 3 different options. You can choose to just do one, or you can do 2 or all 3. Okay, it's completely up to you. Obviously, you could do all 3, you're going to get more from it, but just see how you're feeling. As I've said, this is the moment to be brave and to have courage. And remember, if we want different results to what we've been having, then we do need to take different actions. So let's just go for it. Let's give it a go. What have we got to lose?
Now everyone's like, oh, what are they going to make me do? Scary. So the first action that we're recommending is that you breadcrumb in 5 different groups. Don't freak out if you're like, I'm not in 5 groups with my ideal client. As many groups as you can is absolutely fine. Or maybe it's time to seek out new groups. When we're talking about groups, we're generally here talking about Facebook groups. So breadcrumbing, for those of you who don't know, is exactly what it says. It's like dropping the little crumbs in order for your ideal client to pick them up and follow you and find more out about you. So essentially what we would do is go really a basic explanation is that you would go into, let's say, a local Facebook group if you teach locally in person, go into a local Facebook group. Like for me, it would probably be something like Solihull Mums and Dads. And you can search in the search bar in the group for a keyword that relates to the service that you offer. So it could be pregnancy, it could be breastfeeding, it could be baby, it could be active children activity, something like that. Or it could be even more specific. It could be like baby massage or whatever the actual thing is that you offer, because people go into these local groups to ask for recommendations, to ask for support, to get help. And if it's a good group and it's run well, they trust the recommendations that come through. So when you hit that search button, you'll see that, anything with those words in will come up, and you might have to filter a few things out. It might be a bit like, you know, old or irrelevant, or they're talking about something not related to what you offer. But you might find some good ones in there. And so just head to the comments on that post and just give your opinion. Drop something of value there. It's definite, breadcrumbing is definitely not being like, oh, hi, I'm Megan and I'm a hypnobirthing teacher. You can book on here. It's more like giving them the help and support that they need. It doesn't need to be a lengthy thing. It's like dropping a breadcrumb and seeing where that goes. But the key to it is to make sure that your bio, if we're on Facebook, this is talking about your personal Facebook profile, is optimized. And so that means that when somebody clicks on your name, because people are nosy, you probably do this when you see that somebody's commented on a post and you're interested in what they've got to say, they click on your name and the profile pops up. So they need to know immediately what you do, who you are, so that they've got an idea that, oh, this person is actually, you know, she's a business, she's a professional, she can help me with, you know, with what my issue is, or, you know, I can attend her classes or whatever. And so optimizing means that you have filled out the bio on your Facebook profile so that it says who you are and what you do. That you also could think about creating a banner for your Facebook profile, which says what you do. Keep your face and, like, you know, a picture of you in the actual like profile picture so they can see you and know who you are. So not a picture of your cat or your dog or a really cute picture of your child. We have to think about all of these things as being part of our business strategy. So they want to see a photo of you, what you look like and who you are. And then the banner can be something about what you do, what you offer. When they click on that banner, because like, oh, I want to see a little bit more about that. In the comment, you can have a link to another place. So you can lead them to your website, or you could lead them to a freebie if you have one. Don't worry if you don't have one. Or maybe it's going to lead them to your Instagram profile, wherever it is that you're most active. So you can see what I mean now by all the little breadcrumbs along the way. It's not like a super fast, super quick strategy. It's something that builds over time. And that's why you need to do it. You need to do it regularly, and you need to do it in a few different groups. And you could maybe set a timer on your phone every week or a couple of days a week to say, you know, it's time to breadcrumb. And it really doesn't take long. You know your subject matter. You're an empathetic person. So if somebody's like, you know, struggling with breastfeeding, you can like offer some support, and you can, it's not like you're hiding that you're a professional. You can say, oh, I've had lots of clients who've had that problem, and you know, one of the things that you can do is X, Y, or Z, giving them like a little bit of information, and then they can choose to follow you. Because we have to be careful in these Facebook groups, because of course the admins are, you know, they don't want people in there selling, buy. So if you are adding value, then that's, you know, that's fine, that's okay. Like, all admins want people to add value and to help each other.
Yeah, brilliant. And like, we've used Facebook groups as an example, but it can work in real life as well. In like, if you are going to an event or something, like a networking group or something, and you know, it's about speaking up and showing what you know. And we use it quite a lot on Instagram as well, don't we, Liz? When we're
Definitely
groups and we're on their grid and we're like, oh, you know, we'll leave a comment and that kind of thing. But obviously it's a bit different next, it's not our personal one. We are doing it as our businesses, but
yeah. So something to say on that, when you're using it on Instagram, like you can actually go and target different grids in order to do that. So let's say that you are let's say that you're an antenatal teacher or something like that. So you might go to a bigger account who's got like hundreds of thousands of followers, and they may have put a post up and they've got loads of people commenting on the post. You go and comment on that post as well and give your opinion. You know, you could even reply, like if someone's like, oh, you know, oh, this happened to me or that happened to me, you can reply with, you know, your thoughts on that. Again, it's not like, you know, buy my course, DM me or anything like that. It's just, you know, adding value, adding support. And again, that person, you know, if they like what you say, or if somebody's reading the comments and they see your comment and they click on your name, it will bring them to their profile. So again, that profile needs to be optimized. So your Instagram profile needs to be clear who you are, what you do, what you offer, how you can help people. So they need to look at that and immediately be like, oh, okay, so this person runs weekly mum clubs or something. I'm trying to think of something outside of hypnobirthing, because it always comes back to hypnobirthing in my head when I'm doing things like this. But you know, it has to be very clear what it is that you are that you're offering, so that then they follow you and they kind of stick with you. So that's a way to attract new followers to you. And it's not like doing the dirty on these bigger accounts, because again, if you're commenting on that account, you're helping with their engagement and their algorithm. It's just, you know, we would never do things like, oh yes, come and follow me, DM me, you know, work with me. It's much more subtle than that.
Brilliant. Okay, so that's your first choice and your first action. Our second one is we're going to create an interactive message or post to encourage others to start chatting to you. So this is like a little bit more direct. We're going to start up some conversation. So to start with, you know, I think we'd all as business owners just love to just do what we do on social media, for example, and then people are just going to come and find us and whatever. But the truth is, you'll see tomorrow when we move into sales, we actually do need to start one-to-one conversations. And we touched on this yesterday from a question that was, you know, kind of mentioned at the end of the call, which was about, you know, how much time should we really be putting into this when we're selling, let's say, a lower ticket price, you know, a lower offer, you know, how much, you know, sort of like, well, how much do I really need to do this, like, type thing? And the truth is, we have got to build relationships. So if you think about the last few kind of investments that you've made, even perhaps decisions you made to join this free experience this week, you know, we want to know what it is we're signing up for. We want to know what we're investing in. We want to know what it is we're going to be putting our money to. People are much more discerning than they have been for quite a while at the moment with where they spend their money, and rightly so. So we want to be building these relationships. It's what kind of lead generation is about. It's about building relationships with people. And so this, we're kind of taking it a stage on now where we're going to start chatting to people and starting up a bit of a conversation. So this is in your workbooks. If you haven't got it, you might want to write this down. We've got this template here. What we're going to ask you to do is share this template in a way that's going to work for you and your clients. So we have done this. We've done this as a post, literally like typed this out as a post on our grid on Instagram. We've also done it as a story so that it comes up and encourages people to interact. But it would also work as a text message, like to perhaps if you've got a WhatsApp group, perhaps if you support families in a WhatsApp group, it could be something in there. If you've got a free Facebook group, it would absolutely work as a message in there. So but let's write it out together, and then you can think about where you might want to write it. So the template goes like this, and you're going to need your homework from yesterday where that answers these questions so that you can quickly fill in these gaps. If you don't have it with you, don't stress. As we go through the next few slides, I think it's going to become clear to you what you might want to put in here. So you're going to say, I'm giving away we put the 3, and you can put either secrets, fundamentals, best ways, whatever you want. Because the idea is we're going to give them 3 pieces of value that's going to help them with whatever their problem is. Okay. So I'm giving away blah, 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 to help you, blah, 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 blah. So that's where you're going to insert their problem or need, which again, we were discussing yesterday. Okay. I know this is a bit confusing, but once I go on to the examples, I think it's going to be a lot easier. These are the 3 must-do things that you need, or I recommend, to ensure that then you're going to put their desire, what it is they want to achieve or where it is they want to go. Why would they come and find you, for example, that you want in order to, and then you finish it off with their desire. And then the question that they're going to interact with is, do you want to know what they are? Reply info, or reply whatever word it is. I don't know. Could be birth if it's for pregnancy, or reply, you know, hi baby or whatever. And I will send them to you. So then you sent out the message, then they're going to have got back in touch with you and gone, yeah, info, I want the rest. And then you're going to send them these 3 tips. And it's going to be something very simple, like something that you teach every day in your business, whatever it is. So I'm going to try and get a little bit more specific now to give you some ideas so that you're not getting too stuck. So this first example is a breastfeeding one, because that's where what I work in. So I'm going to send out a message, and it says, I'm giving away the 3 fundamental ways that you can prepare to breastfeed your baby. They are the 3 must-do things that you need to ensure that breastfeeding gets off to a positive start in order to help you start your, oh dear, there's a typo there. Sorry, it's not very good, is it? Start parenthood I think it's supposed to say, in a calm and relaxed way. Want to know what they are, reply info and I will DM you. And then I'm probably going to I'll have 3 tips ready, and it'll be something that I can just copy and paste back to them. So it could be anything, couldn't it? It could be like, make sure you prepare for breastfeeding, make sure you understand how breastfeeding works, make sure you get help in the postnatal period. I don't know. I can probably do better than that, but that's just off the top of my head. Okay, so that's one example. And then this is a kind of like a baby massage one that I came up with. So I've changed the language a bit here to soften it, because I think sometimes we wouldn't want to say these are the must-do things. That can feel a little bit, well, who are you to say that we must do these things? So, move the language around to make it feel comfortable to you, but we also want to entice them in, okay, at the same time, to kind of have a conversation with us. So this one says, I'm giving away the 3 best ways that you can connect and bond with your baby who's struggling with pain and discomfort. They are the most effective things that I've found that you can do. So I've put there, I've found, rather than must do, that you can do to help you and your baby stay close and calm, even in stressful times, and help you build the relationship that you want to have with your little one. So do you see that? We've got the parent problem there. Their baby's got discomfort and they want to connect and bond with them, but perhaps they're, really struggling with stress. We've got the desire here, which is that you and your baby stay close and calm. And then we've got the kind of transformation that they might want, or their own goal, which is to build the relationship they want with their little one. Want to know what they are, and then I'll give them 3 baby massage tips.
Okay, and the next example here could be related to a hypnobirthing teacher or an antenatal teacher preparing for who helps people prepare for birth. So I am giving away the 3 secrets to creating an empowered and positive birth experience. Like, obviously you put the words in there that relate most to you and to what your clients want and need. They are the 3 must-do things that I tell my clients to do to ensure that their birth experience is one to remember for all of the right reasons, in order to help you start off parenthood feeling confident and in control. So the language is really key here. And if you've done the work on your ideal client, you will know what it is that they are actually looking for and what they're thinking and feeling. Want to know what they are, reply info or birth or whatever it is, and I will DM you. And again, like Anna said, you have an answer ready that you can copy and paste into to reply to the DMs or the WhatsApps, however it's coming. If it's in a WhatsApp group, I think you would be asking them to reply to you privately, message me directly, and then you would go to them direct, so you can build up that kind of one-to-one relationship. And again, the same in a Facebook group as well. So you decide, what are those 3 things? What are the things that your potential clients need to hear in order to understand what it is that they need to do to have the kind of experience that they want to have. And it doesn't mean that we go into loads of detail or that we're explaining, like quite detailed concepts to them. It's exactly what Anna said. It's like short bullet points, and it begins the conversation. And then one of the most important things is, when you are replying to them with the 3 must-do things or the 3 recommendations, that you're finishing that with a question as well, so that they then come back to you. So it could be like, you give them the 3 things and then you finish it with, which one of those do you struggle with the most, or which one of those is most important to you, or which one of those do you feel like you need the most help with? And then you can like begin that conversation where, you know, you're hoping it's going to lead on to you being able to say, you know, I have actually got something that I think would really help you. That I teach, you know, hypnobirthing, or I run baby massage classes, or you know, I run a mum club, or like I support people to breast, you know, have successful breastfeeding journeys, or whatever language it is that you want to use, and you're just helping them come closer and closer to you. But the most important thing here is that we are building that relationship. You know, that's the lead generation thing is the most important part here. Without the leads, you know, we can't make sales, and we're not going to sell to everybody, so we need to make sure that we have ways to keep those leads coming in. We did this with BABBA quite recently. Anna mentioned we did it in it was most successful for us in stories, and that's for you to decide where it's going to be most successful for you. Like, where do you get the most engagement? We had so many messages when we put a similar story up, and it started some really great conversations that we know will be able to nurture and develop as well as time goes on. So it's a good strategy to do, but I do know that probably some people might be feeling a little bit like, oh, that sounds a little bit out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, but I think this week is about giving something a go. Just give it a go. I'm going to be honest. The first time we tried this, we were like, you know, let's see how it works. And like Liz said, it did get a lot of interaction going. And I think we have to bear in mind, like, social media, it's called social media for a reason. It's supposed to be social. We're supposed to be having two-way conversations. We're not just supposed to be shoving out content for people to consume. Yeah. I know that can be how we perhaps have used social media in the past before as ourselves, but it's supposed to be a back and forth two-way conversation. So you need to be creating content and posts, not every single post, but content and posts that encourage people to come to you and start those conversations. And that's the stuff, it's that relationship building stuff that is going to make you sales. So don't expect that just by putting an offer out there, people are just going to come to you because they're going to recognize that it's what they need. They may need a little bit of help or a little bit of trust building to know that they want to work with you, or they need to work with you, or you're going to be the best person to help them. It may be that you have a conversation with someone and you're like, actually, what they need is not what I can offer. That happens to Liz and I, you know, quite regularly. They're not going to be they're not your ideal client. Hopefully there's someone else that can help them out more. And perhaps, as a lactation consultant, I do this quite often, I'm going to refer them on to someone who can help them more than I can. And that's about, you know, working ethically. This isn't about just getting as many clients as we can, you know, no matter who they are.
Yeah,
it's about being really discerning about who we work with, but also sharing as much as we can with people about how we can help them. Yeah. Also, we're at the times, but we're nearly through this stage. So yeah, we know that number 2 is a little bit different. But we'd really like you to give number 2 a go if you can. So do come in the community and workshop that one with us. We'd be very happy to help you with the language and getting that right before you send it out. Just give you our feedback on it. Please do come and use us in that way. So the third action, the third one option that you can try is to reach out to 5 clients for inquiries and connect. So past clients, past inquiries. If people have already worked with us or they've already taken a step to reach out for us, that is what we would call a warm client. That is somebody who's already in your community. They're already in your audience. They're ready and watching and almost waiting for you to offer something that they need. So don't overlook those people. Don't overlook those people who have worked with you before, who've been to your classes before, or who have perhaps sent you an email about, let's say they've sent you an email about an antenatal breastfeeding class, but they didn't book. So you're probably in your mind thinking, oh, well, they're not interested. But it's probably not that. You're making up a story there. It could be that they couldn't get childcare for their older child through that night and that day wasn't going to work for them. It could be that actually they just forgot, you know, because they're busy people and they didn't book. So keep going back to every single inquiry that you have, every single sales call, every single contact when you've built up this one-to-one conversation. Keep going back to them and keep the conversation going. I don't know about you, but often for me, it takes me a few reminders to remember to pay for something and buy it. I'm not going to do it the first time. And it's often people who come back to me several times when I'm like, oh, yeah, I do need to book that. Do you know what I mean? So don't assume that people are just going to see something once, book it, and they're on. It doesn't work like that. And it can be helpful to look at our own sales psychology, our own buying psychology, and how we buy, to think about, okay, yeah, I actually do need to talk about this a lot more than I thought I did. I actually do need to make direct contact with potential clients more than just once. If people aren't interested, they're going to tell you. They're going to unsubscribe from your newsletter. They're going to say, this isn't for me, I'm not interested, I found someone else. They will take a step back if they're not interested more. So never worry about bothering people or being overpowering. I'm not talking about spamming people with 10 messages a day or anything like that. I'm just talking about going back to people and just going, hey, this is on offer right now. Are you interested? I think it could really help you. I think it'd be a great fit. That's what this is about. So,
yeah, definitely. I think people do have like hang-ups about how many times should I follow this person up? How many times should I, keep reaching out to them? And what I would say is that unless it's a absolute no, it still might be a yes. So I'll give you an example of this recently with my training. At the Calm Bear School, had a fantastic phone call, like what we would call a sales call with somebody. There was definitely a lot of synergy there. I then, WhatsApped her, sent her some information. She replied, and then it just went super, super quiet. So I kept messaging her, not like every day, but like every sort of week, dropping a message in. And even though she wasn't replying, I just thought, oh, I'll just keep checking in with her. And then she did reply to one message that I sent her, which was about a new freebie that I have at the Calm Birth School, because I knew she'd be interested in it. And she replied straight away, I'm so sorry, Liz, that I haven't been in touch with you. I'm definitely still interested in this. I'm going to go and check that freebie out, and I'll come back to you when I get the opportunity. So don't ever assume that people aren't interested if they're not replying. I know it can feel a little bit challenging and a little bit like, but it usually, it can pay off. And the thing is, if you're not following them up, if they've been in touch with other people and other providers and they are following them up, they're going to go to somebody else because that person is front of mind for them. So please don't be afraid to do that. And in terms of reaching out to past clients here, if you're sort of thinking, well, I don't have, let's say you offer something like, something like antenatal classes or like breastfeeding support, for example, and you're thinking, oh, but my past clients, they're no longer breastfeeding or they're no longer pregnant. Like, why would I reach out to them? Well, the reason why you would reach out to them is because they're going to know people who are your ideal client. So just reconnecting with those past clients to say, oh, I have this new offering or this new class. Do you know anyone who might be interested? Because it's likely that your ideal client's friends are very like her, and they might also be your ideal client. So don't discount that at all. Or it might be that you do baby massage classes and you've had those people, you want to sell them into maybe baby yoga or like a mother's circle group or something like that. So that's much more straightforward because okay, so my offerings, they kind of like go with the journey of this particular client. So equally, you would reach out to them to discuss your offerings with them or to let them know about it. Because if they don't know about it, they can't book onto your classes.
Yeah, I think we often assume that whatever we put out there, our current clients or old clients have already seen, but so often people be like, oh, I didn't know this was on.
Yeah.
And you're like, I've literally shared it 10 million times. How can you not
Everywhere.
know? But they've just been busy with life and they haven't.
Yeah.
So that's again why that direct reach out for someone who you know is a really good fit. Like, I don't know, like you supported them in birth, perhaps as a doula, and then you're like, oh, you're starting a baby massage class. Don't assume they know that just because they've worked with you before. Making that contact and just letting them know.
Yeah.
Those are going to be your easy clients and easy sales.
100%.